just try and give them a lift and try and keep playing with the same enthusiasm they did in the first half, but it's a difficult one for them, and in actual fact I cannot see them. In fact, they will not get back to a 3-0 deficit.
Well, I think you heard a very good ovation for the Hibs fans from their devoted followers who are just beneath us in our commentary position. Let's go back to Andy Gray and Jock Brand, who I hope are as cold as we are down this end.
So Joe Tortolano has come on for the second half for Hibs. We're just checking around to see who has not appeared. It looks as though Billy Finlay has not come back on for the second half. No, he is there. It could be Danny Lennon has been left out. Yes, number 7 Danny Lennon has been left in the dressing room after his first start in the first team, and Joe Tortolano will provide some pace on the left flank for Hibs. So Alec Miller, a beleaguered Alec Miller, the Hibs manager, has had very troubled times. He's been given a lot of stick by the home supporters for the way things have gone, and I wonder just what he was doing at half-time for his players, Andy. I don't think he'd be giving them stick.
I'd love to have been a fly on the wall, Jock, at half-time in the Hibs dressing room. I'm sure that Alec could have done no more than G side up and just point out that they could actually be on level terms, if not ahead, and to just do more of the same and hope that 1 or 2 of the breaks go their way in the second half. You really can't have asked for more than that.
Well, it appears to me as though Alec Miller may have formed a view that the major threat from Hearts is coming from the right flank with Gary Mackay and John Cahoon, so he's put some extra strength in that area to compete with Hearts. So a free kick though, conceded there by McGinley inside the centre circle there. There was the tackle on John Robertson. Well, it's a second half, I must confess, I'm looking forward to, in view of the quality of the entertainment we saw in these trying conditions in the first half. And you have the feeling that 1 goal even from Hibs could make such a difference. Levine playing it forward, there's Robertson, and it's turned back by Graham Mitchell.
Certainly as a neutral, Jock, a goal at the moment would be no more than this Hibs team have deserved, but it really would give them a great fill-up for the rest of the second half.
Header on by Wright, there's Neil Berry dropping into a right-back position for the second half now that Tortolano is on. So there'll be some reorganisation of the Hearts ranks to cope with the change made by Hibs. A feature of the modern game, of course, the way teams adjust almost instantly to changes made by opponents. And there's a hefty challenge by Brian Hamilton, and the referee has decided that Brian Hamilton has offended once too often.
Yes, I wouldn't think that's for the one particular challenge. He was spoken to in the first half, the referee. He gave him a long dressing down, and I'm sure that's a result of it. He thought, that's it, I warned you in the first half, first minute of the second half you go again, in the book.
So a yellow card for Brian Hamilton, former St Mirren player. Derek Ferguson felt the full brunt of that challenge from the rear. Certainly hasn't been the kind of game for Ferguson to show his classy passing ability, but nonetheless it's been thoroughly entertaining. So McPherson and McGinley in a bit of wrestling there as the free kick is lined up by Sanderson. Breaks off Berry to Tortolano, who leaves it and turns to Milne. Turned away by Levine. Paul Wright arriving at the same time as Derek Ferguson. So the long ball forward from McGinley goes straight through to Henry Smith, but it is very interesting because Hearts do appear to have gone effectively 5 at the back for the opening period of the second half, perhaps expecting, Andy, a Hibs onslaught.
Well, I certainly think that's what they'll get. I mean, Hibs have got no other choice but to go forward and look for a quick goal, Jock. And yes, Hearts they've did the right thing. They've brought someone back. They're not taking any chances. They're not going man for man at the back and taking a chance. They're keeping the spare man in there. Jimmy Sanderson is always going to be spare at the back there, and that's why they've brought Neil Berry back into this right back position to mark Joe Tortolano. It makes complete sense if you're a Hearts manager, a Hearts player, a Hearts supporter. That makes sense.
You have to give Credit also to Alec Miller for the way in which he's set up his side for the second half. He has Billy Finlay on the right, Joe Tortolano on the left, with Wright and Kane through the middle. So he's playing 4 up. That's why Hearts have been forced to that defensive formation. So a great responsibility resting on Brian Hamilton and Murdo McLeod in the centre of the Hibs midfield. Sanderson wins that from right. Cross goes McPherson. He's very quick for a big fellow. And McGinley at the back. Good challenge by McPherson, with the scraps picked up by Tortolano. Here's Hamilton. That's for Kane. He's onside. A chance now for the opener for Hibs. And once again, Hibs are denied an opening goal.
Well, this is not an easy chance. It is one of the most difficult things. He looks up, he sees the keeper coming, he tries to do the right thing and lobbing him over it, but his judgment's just out slightly. Wasn't an easy chance, but when you're 3-0 down and you haven't been getting goals, you do hope that something like that goes in for you.
Well, you have the distinct feeling that that happened at the other end. Hearts would have scored. There's Milne. Oh, that's good play by the young fullback. Berry stepping in. Murdo McLeod playing it forward. There's Paul Kane switching play to the far side to Miller. Through the middle was Wright, but the pass wasn't accurate enough. Kane leaning into Gary Mackay to set up Tortolano on the left. Long deep cross. Well, Tortolano perhaps quite hasn't found his touch yet. Here's Murdo McLeod, helped by Miller. Paul Kane's header. Not a bad effort. Henry smuggles across quickly though.
Yes, I don't think Paul Kane quite catches it right, Jock. Kind of comes off his shoulder a little bit as he headers it. Doesn't quite get it right and makes the save easier for Henry Smith. But it's a promising, again, a bright opening by Hibs. Prepared to go forward and showing lots of confidence and composure.
So Joe Jordan on his feet in the dugout with instructions for the Hearts players. Clearly not taking anything for granted. Pass back from Milne.
In really all honesty, if you're Joe Jordan, all you want your team to do now is kill the game off, Jock. That may sound a dreadful thing, and we don't want to see that as spectators. But certainly it's a professional thing to do, maybe for Hearts to just kill the game dead. And I certainly don't hope we see that though. But I don't think Hibs will allow that to happen.
I don't know why I have the distinct impression that you have Gary Mackay in the sweep. Header by Milne. There's Tortolano. The sweep, I should say, for the last goal scorer. This is Graham Mitchell, and Milne again. Still some good football coming from Hibs. There's Neil Berry. Thumped forward by Berry into that space beyond Callum Milne, forcing McGinley to retrieve. John Cahoon ensuring the ball can't go back easily to Andy Gorham. There's Dave McPherson, and the tackle by Murdo McLeod, and McLeod very unhappy about the fact that he thinks McPherson dived. And these are international teammates too, but there's no love lost in this derby match.
Yeah, I think I'd like to see this again. I don't think Murdo McLeod does make contact with Big Davey, but he thinks he's running out of space. I'll just go down, and he gets the free kick. I think that's why Murdo McLeod was furious there.
So Hearts with a free kick. There's Jimmy Sanderson. Headed away by McGinley. There's McLeod, not quite what he intended. Good pass from Milne. Here's Tortolano, he's very quick indeed. This is Paul Wright. Looking for support, he has Willie Miller in space on the right. A lot of Hearts players back defending. Header down by Mackay. Clearance completed by McPherson. Miller again playing it forward, but Hibs had dropped back to make sure no one was offside, and that made it easy for Henry Smith. And still concern on the Hearts bench, I can tell you. Joe Jordan and Frank Connor on their feet there. They're not happy with the way things are going at this stage. McLeod to Milne. There's Brian Hamilton trying to screen the ball from Ferguson. Ferguson did well enough though to stop the momentum of that attack. This is Milne. Well, that is, I think you'd have to say, very ambitious indeed. Well, he's been playing very well in the second half, in particular Callum Milne, but was never going to threaten Henry Smith from that range. So the aerial shot of chilly Easter Road. The rain has gone off, but the scoreline remains the same. Hibernian 0, Hearts 3, with 10 minutes of the second half gone. Good play by McLeod. And by Tortolano. Releasing the ball into the box early. Here's Mother McLeod. Trying a delicate ball through into the path there of Finlay. Didn't quite come off. Down goes Cahun, but he's getting nothing for that. The referee right up was play to decide there was no foul. Here's Tortolano again. Well, that was good play by Berry. He indicated to Tortolano where he wanted him to go. Excellent piece of business, Neil Berry, for Hearts. A nominal fee to Bolton Wanderers 6 years ago. There's Mackay. Now Crabb. Berry looking for Robertson through the middle. This is John Cahun. Again inviting Robertson to make a run to the right. The ball gathering pace though off the damp surface. The playing surface though, Andy, you walked on before the match, really is in very good condition despite the recent bad weather. Yes,
walking on it's about all I'm capable of this weather as well, Jock, I can assure you. But the surface is in excellent condition. It's had a lot of rain, but it's very firm, nice little top on it, and the ball's just run across it quite well. And both teams have used it to their advantage. Both tried to play football, both wanted to knock it along the surface, and it's made for a great game so far.
So the referee holding up that quick free kick because he wants a word with Dave McPherson. Mitchell forward, there's Dave McPherson, and now Ferguson. Cahun did well to reach that. Hamilton, McLeod, now Milne. Finlay has support from Miller behind. There's Hamilton. McKinley leading into his man, Billy Finlay, but Finlay moved to allow McKinley to slip and give the throw. This is Graham Mitchell. Good running by Milne on the left. Oh, that's another bad break for Hibs. A promising opening. And Milne was beautifully picked out there by Graham Mitchell.
Yes, you wonder what's going to go right for them in this game, don't you, Jock? I mean, again, a wonderful sweet move, lots of patience involved in it, a great ball through, and there young Callum Milne there, he's in a great position, loses his footing.
A real quality pass that from Graham Mitchell, threading a ball through the right flank of the Hearts defence. Up goes Robertson. Berry using Sanderson at the back. Well, Hearts doing what Andy Gray thought they might, killing the game a bit. Not taking any chances of allowing Hibs back into the match. Good play that by McLeod. Here's Kane. John Cahun doing a good job in defence. off from right. Here's Tortolano, stopped in his tracks by Ferguson, who took a knock in the process. Well, he felt that all right.
When you would be very surprised if Hearts were to take on any unnecessary risks this second half. But what you have to remember, and what Hibs will remember, is what they have in their locker. When you've got three players like Cahoon, Robertson and Crabb, who are all capable in one movement of opening up a defence, they'll always be wary of that.
Finlay appeared to take his eye off the ball to see precisely where Tosh McKinlay was. And there's going to be another substitution, I'm sure, for Hibs very shortly. But here's Murdo McLeod. Well, Wright set off on a run there, looking for a diagonal one the opposite way from Kane, which didn't arrive. Here's Tortolano. On the way there for a throw to Hibs. Well, the other Hibs substitute is Keith Houchin. Ball played in by Mitchell. Back to Hamilton. A hopeful one there from Paul Wright. Watched under the crossbar by Henry Smith, who has retained his sense of humour. John Robertson looking for Crabb through the middle. Well, the arrival of Houchin for Hibs would allow them a different dimension in attack. They could use balls in the air towards him. They've obviously preferred the ground route against Levine and McPherson.
Yes, and as the game goes on, that's what you tend to do, Jock. When you're running out of time, you tend to knock it into the box, and there's one man who's certainly big enough and good enough in the air to maybe get one or two touches on anything that comes in, and people like Paul Kane and Paul Wright will maybe benefit from it then.
Here's Callum Milne. Good running by McLeod, followed across by Levine. Well, McLeod is unlucky, it was well read by Levine. There's Robertson, a good first touch on the ball there. Well, Hearts now playing very sensibly and calmly. There's Crabb. Tackle from Mitchell gives the free kick to Hearts. Sanderson forward, there's Mitchell. Mill had no option but to lash that forward first time. Good pass from Wright. This is Miller. Back from Finlay. It's the ball forward from McGinley. It's cut off by Sanderson. And once again Sanderson intercepts the pass from Finlay. Here's Cahoon. Screening the ball well, playing it back to Ferguson. Oh, that's a desperate late tackle by Pat McGinley. Pat McGinley will be in serious trouble now. He's apologising profusely to the referee in anticipation perhaps of a red card.
Well, I don't like to see that, Jock. That's a two-footed tackle. He's very, very late. There's no doubt the referee's taking action, but what action it will be we'll yet to see.
Well, the explanation being made by Jimmy Duncan, this looks ominous for Pat McGinley. He's taking so long over this that I suspect the colour of the card may well be red.
Yeah, I don't think he's got any complaints if it is.
Well, a young defender suffering the frustrations of a derby match going wrong. He's been ordered off. Pat McGinley leaves the field for Hibs. He didn't even wait to see the red card. The message was imparted by referee Jim Duncan, and it really was a desperate tackle in Scott Crabb.
I mean, it's not the fact that it's late, Jock, as well. It's two-footed. It's diving. I mean, that can cause players serious injury. I mean, we do talk about players getting sent off for foul and abusive language, but when you see things like that happening, it can damage somebody's career and maybe cost a player a career. And Pat McGinley can expect nothing else but to be shown the red card for a tackle like that.
Yes, I think he can really have no complaint. An act of complete folly, and on comes Keith Houchin. The player leaving the field for Hibs is Billy Finlay. So Billy Finlay goes off. He hasn't made much of an impact on the match so far. There he is now in the Hibs dugout behind Mickey Weir, unfit for the match tonight. So Keith Houchin has the chance to make some impression on the proceedings before the end, although it will be a very difficult task now with Hibs reduced to 10 men.
Well, what more can go wrong for Alec Miller in this Hibs side? I'm sure he must have thought 1991 might bring them some luck, and all he's had tonight is the opposite.
So Gorham's long ball forward. The first touch for Houchin. Going at Jimmy Sanderson. Here's Derek Ferguson showing his confidence and composure. So reorganisation of the Hibs ranks, of course, required, and the result has been to withdraw Mordaunt McLeod from midfield to centre-back. And that's something of a blow, I would think, to the Hibs' aspirations, because he was so influential in the middle of the field. There's Mordaunt McLeod conceding that corner kick. Paul Kane has been withdrawn into midfield. Well, a big task for McLeod. He'll have to organise Hibs and keep their morale up as much as possible for the rest of the match. The 25 minutes left for play in the match as Cahoon plays in the corner kick. McPherson nodding it on. Good catch by Gorham.
Well, it was always going to be difficult, even with a full team on there, Jock, for Hibs to salvage anything from this game. Now it's an Everest they've got to mount to really get anything.
Well, the wind was the problem there for Houchin, trying to judge that ball coming forward. Crabbe across to Ferguson. There's Crabbe and Levine. Careless one from Mackay. This is Paul Kane in a new midfield role. And still to find his passing touch from that area of the field. Chase there for Houchin. No real prospect of reaching the ball. Well, Keith Houchin has only scored twice this season for Hibs. That's why he didn't get a place in the starting lineup. He was intended to be a major striking threat. Now, another change being made by Hearts this time, and it's Wayne Foster, formerly of Preston North End, who'll come on. Header by Kane. There's Levine. Held up by Robertson. Crabbe did well, but ran straight into Mitchell in the end. There's Brian Hamilton. Berry wins it well for Hearts. Well, it all looks very comfortable now for Hearts. So foul there by Mitchell, a free kick to Hearts. So Wayne Foster is going to come on. The player being withdrawn is Scott Crabbe, who was the victim of that tackle which resulted in Pat McGinley being ordered off. And he clearly hasn't recovered fully from that, so the fresh man up front is Wayne Foster. Another prudent piece of purchasing by Hearts in 1986, Foster. Derek Ferguson over this free kick for Hearts. Houchin marking McPherson. Now McKinley stepping away from Miller. Headed away by Mitchell. Here's John Cahoon. Houchin doing well defensively against McPherson. Kane forward. Here's Paul Kane again. He has Brian Hamilton going through the middle. Have to time the pass properly. He's onside all right. Hamilton returning it for Kane. And it's an own goal by Gary Mackay. And you wonder if that was the only way in which Hibs would score.
Well, it's quite incredible, isn't it, Joe? They can't even get the joy of scoring a goal themselves. Gary McCoy, who had chased all the way back. But what a super breakout of defence it was from Hibs. Very composed. And there, Brian Hamilton didn't panic and try a shot there. He was aware enough to knock it across the goal. And Gary Mackay could only help it past Henry Smith.
Well, this is a delightful ball by Brian Hamilton. He resisted the temptation to shoot for goal, put Gary Mackay under that kind of pressure. Well, the sweep still looks safe, Andy.
Well, I was just about to say how it could always be a matter of how many for Hearts now. It was that type of night for them when everything was going right. And you just wondered they could go on and really make it embarrassing for Hibs in this derby. And there Hibs come back and show a bit of character and get a goal back immediately. What more has this game got in store for us, Jock?
Good play by McPherson. There's Houchin back defending. And a great goal by Levine. What a magnificent volley by Craig Levine. It's not one of the aspects of Levine's game for which he's renowned, but what a great finish this is.
Well, he don't mind losing his sweep, Jock, when there's a goal like this involved. I mean, there's nothing happening, it's a bit of a scramble. Hearts get in a bit of a mix-up there, but what a volley this is from Craig Levine. As you say, not noted for his finishing, but I'll bet he'll remember this for a long, long time.
Well, he went 5 years without a goal for Hearts, although he has scored already twice this season. Hearts coming again, there goes Foster. Well tackled by Miller. And Hibs still couldn't have the pleasure of enjoying the chance to settle on the goal they'd scored. So the score shown there, Hearts leading by 4 goals to 1. Hibs, remember, reduced to 10 men. That's Berry, and still no joy for Alec Miller. Here's John Cahoon. McKinley won't be happy with that piece of control. Have the chance now to make amends. Miller flinging it away from Wayne Foster. Joe Jordan still on his feet at the Hearts dugout. John Robertson flinging it across for Berry. Much too close to Andy Gorham to trouble the Hibs defence. Houchin easing Ferguson off the ball and then losing out to McKinley. So here's Murdo McLeod in a tangle with John Cahoon. This is Houchin, led away by Sanderson. Well, the tackling still very keen. Willie Miller that time, and that's too far ahead of Paul Wright. Well, this is the 3rd time this season the Hibs defence has conceded 4 goals. They did so to Rangers and then to Motherwell. The biggest defeat 4-0 against Rangers at Ibrox. And it looks as though they will go into the new year propping up the Premier Division.
Yes, a conceded 4, Jock, and I think Alec Miller will be looking back and saying, well, we've contributed to our own downfall in almost every goal. You could say that had they defended properly, they could have prevented them.
Milne switching the play to the far side, but there's no one there for Hibs. It's the area at the moment where they're short of a man. Mitchell's header. This is McKinley. Cahoon sets off and chase. Mitchell wants to let that run for a goal kick, and it's going to be a free kick to Hibs for the challenge made by Cahoon. Tortolano. Kane in field. McLeod has come forward. There's Miller. Paul Wright doing well, trying to link there with Houchen. That partnership was one on which Hibs pinned a lot of hopes, Houchen and Wright. When the signing was made of Paul Wright back in March last year, they hoped that his combination with Houchen would be the factor which would turn them into a major attacking force. It hasn't happened yet. Very interesting that two players of apparently complementary styles have not really gelled up front.
Yes, but I can't believe that Hibs have produced chances in the games that they've played this season and not scored goals from them, Joe. I think obviously they've not created as many chances as we've seen tonight, and I know on Saturday they did create an awful lot of chances as well when they went down on Saturday. But that has been a problem, has been creating them. Alec Miller will be quite amazed at the last couple of games. His team have created more chances than all season and have got nothing to show for it, really.
Alec Miller looking gaunt and drawn, as you might expect. The manager going through these miseries. So a quarter of an hour left. 4-1 to Hearts. And an offside flag up against Paul Wright. So the free kick to Hearts to allow them the chance again to retain possession and bring the ball forward at leisure. Well, Jimmy Sanderson taking plenty of time over this free kick. Sending the ball long towards the corner flag. Foster fighting for it. There's Willie Miller. Controlled well by Paul Wright, who was then taken out of the play late by Craig Levine. Didn't appear to be a great deal in that, but the referee is going to show the yellow card to Craig Levine.
Yes, I didn't see much in it myself either, Jock. I think it's just the control beats him. And although he does make contact with the ball, he takes Paul Wright after it. I suppose after the sending off, I think it was only natural that he was going to book a Hearts player, Jock.
Right in front of the Hibs dugout, of course. But looking at that again, I think Levine was a little bit clumsy, to say the least, so a booking for Levine. Head flick on from Houchen. Here's Dave McPherson. Well, he likes to do this from time to time. Dave McPherson straight out of defence. Graham Mitchell's header. There's Paul Kane. And now Tortolano. And Paul Wright complaining bitterly he was fouled by Levine. The referee's not interested, and it's Hearts who come forward again. McKinley forward, that interception made by McLeod. Tortolano back to Mitchell. Looking for Houchen with that high ball, but McKinley was in the way. Neat pass from Ferguson. Mackay. Now Cahun. And Hearts making the extra man tell now, putting these passes together.
And it's good sensible play at this stage in the game as well, Jock. When it's as good as one for them, just keep and hold it as long as they can, not forcing it at all.
There's Willie Miller with the clearance. It goes straight to Hearts player Craig Levine, who gives it back to Houchen. There's Wright, opening the play out to Tortolano, who could take this for a run. Berry comes across. Tortolano wants to take him on. It's not an easy task though. Berry's a very resilient defender. So throw to Hibs. Back keeler there to Mill. He was brought down there, and the referee waves aside appeals for a penalty kick. Well, it'll be very interesting to see that again as Hearts break with Cahun. This is John Robertson running at Mitchell. And the ball aimed there for the far side. Derek Ferguson goes astray. Jimmy Duncan, the centre of the controversy there. What do you make of this, Andy?
Well, just for a moment as well, Jock, he's got his whistle in his mouth. I certainly thought when I first seen it, it was a penalty kick. It doesn't look as bad there, but I think when you see it at normal speed, the referee actually went to put the whistle to his mouth, thought about it again and then took it down. But I certainly, first impressions count for a lot, I thought it was a penalty.
Well, I hate to have to agree with that. That was my first impression too. And the referee failing to give Hibs what would have been their first penalty kick of the season, I reckon. So things certainly going from bad to worse for Hibs in terms of fortune. Kane taking a long time in possession. He had nowhere to go though with the ball, being hounded by Hearts players. So there's a clearance from Gorham, and the control shown by Tortolano. Here's Graham Mitchell. There's Mitchell again. Houchen trying to take the ball for a run there beyond Levine. Still has work to do in that regard. Supported well by Milne. Tortolano beaten to that by Berry. Here's Robertson. On the far side is Cahun. Supported well by Ferguson. It's all going Hearts' way now. Here's McKinley. Cahun available inside. And that's a foul, all right. And Brian Hamilton will require to be very careful indeed. There's going to be another substitution made by Hearts before this free kick is taken, if the referee's attention can be drawn to the bench. Well, it has now. It's Alan McLaren who will come on, and he's going to replace Craig Levine. Levine, who just made the match tonight following an ankle injury. McLaren was his replacement at Celtic Park on Saturday, so it's a direct replacement. McLaren for Levine. And now a chance for Hearts to score a fifth. A wind-assisted free kick. Andy Gorham alert on his line. John Robertson relishes this prospect, especially as it's scoring goals against Hibs. Good wall, stood the ground there to make certain that Gorham had no work to do. Good play by Miller. Getting away from McKinley and showing his amazing confidence there, getting the better of Tosh McKinley. And Tosh McKinley is on the ground in somewhat mysterious circumstances. Two Hearts players at the referee, Cahun and Robertson. Well, Willie Miller was certainly prepared to take on Tosh McKinley, man for man, in that incident. So the Hibs supporters think McKinley is faking. Well, it will be very interesting to see the match facts, Andy, because I reckon there won't be a great deal to choose between the two sides, despite this amazing scoreline.
Well, I think you're right. I think the only match facts that's going to show any great difference is the goals one. I mean, look at that, shots 9 and 9. And I'm sure, in fact, that if that was broken down, Jock, into shots on target, I'm sure Hibs would be ahead in that fact. But that shows you how close it's actually been.
But the free kick's being conceded now by Hibs much more rapidly. Robertson and Miller squaring up. Well, Willie Miller will require to be controlled by Murdo McLeod. He's just missed the match through suspension. Here's Callum Milne. That's cut off by Derek Ferguson. Here's Mackay. And Berry. Houchen takes the ball away and then goes in late on McLaren. So the flag is up against Wayne Foster. So free kick to Hibs. They're now playing for pride in the last few minutes of the match. There's Callum Milne. Now right. Staggering there as he goes off balance. Graham Mitchell into Murdo McLeod. Releasing the ball early, trying to find Houchen. McKinley's clearance. The singing now coming from the Hearts supporters. But Hibs still attempt to come forward. Well, they could still do what they haven't done in the league this season. They could score a second goal. Here's Keith Houcher with a chance. Well, he'd rather chip that finish rather than drive the ball to the far corner. That would have made a difference.
Yes, but he's done ever so well to create the opening in the first place, Jock. You know, you think he's going to hit it with his left, but he just ducks inside, and he's a bit unlucky that it gets trapped under in between his legs a little bit, and he has to stab at it. Didn't quite get it out in front of him enough to have a good strike.
So Keith Houchen had a taste of glory in 1987 at Wembley. A bit of elbowing there on the halfway line, giving a free kick to Hibs. Well, I'm sure that even a second goal, albeit a consolation goal, would be welcomed by the Hibs players and management.
Well, psychologically, at the moment, it'd be a wonderful boost for them because, as we said, nothing has gone right tonight. And to break that barrier, to get 2 goals for the first time in a league game, albeit in a defeat, at least psychologically they know that they could actually do that.
Well, they would no doubt like to see a player in green and white score the goal. Here's Paul Wright. Trying to nutmeg Berry, but there was nowhere to go there. There's McLaren clashing with Brian Hamilton. Now Sanderson tidying up at the back. Very neat and tidy player, Jimmy Sanderson. Almost transferred to Airdrie 2 months ago for £100,000 until Joe Jordan had second thoughts about his defensive formation. 5 minutes to go, 4-1 to Hearts. Pride the motivation now for Hibs. Well, there's no question that you can question the Hibs' commitment and effort in this match, and that apparently has been the pattern throughout their recent difficult times. Still trying to retain good habits and high work rate, but cruel game this, and Hibs are the victims tonight. Here's Tosh McKinley. Now Cahoon. And a goal kick to Hibs.
I think if Alex Miller's looking for any consolation tonight, Jock, and surely he must in a night of such ill luck that they've had, it'll be that the commitment of his team has been quite magnificent. He couldn't have asked for more effort from them and commitment. He'll also be very pleased at the amount of chances they've taken, but again be concerned at their inability to convert them.
Yes, they've created plenty, but they haven't managed to find the net, with the exception of Gary Mackay's own goal. There's Couchin. No one on the right, of course, that blank area there with the reorganisation of the side following Pat McGinley's ordering off. There's John Cahoon. And now Milne has a chance to use Murdo McLeod. Milne to Kane. This is Mitchell. Tosh McKinley. Cahoon back on the right. He's wandered to good effect again tonight for Hearts. There's Paul Wright losing out to Sanderson. A lot of space here for Foster. Hibs could be punished for that. A lot of men upfield. There's Wayne Foster, well tackled by Mitchell. And then McLeod doing some excellent defensive work also. Now can Hibs come forward on the break? It was Gary Mackay who did well coming back to close down Kane. So Hearts not only continuing their climb up the Premier Division table, they're also enhancing their goal difference tonight.
Yes, I think Joe Jordan will be delighted with his team's performance. You know, his progress is steady. They're now moving up that Premier League. He'll be delighted to see that after his traumatic start. But I mean, I've been thoroughly entertained tonight, Jock. It's been as good a local derby as we've seen. First half was quite magnificent. I suppose it was too much to expect the same second half, but we've had enough thrills and spills second half to have been entertained for the whole night. A wonderful night's entertainment.
Paul Wright trying to get through the Hearts defence all by himself. He ends up with an ankle injury there. Seemed to get caught on the toe there, bending back the foot, damaging the ankle. Well, he certainly worked hard enough tonight, Paul Wright, along with his teammates. But sadly, for no reward. Here's Dave McPherson. Flag is up against Wayne Foster. So we're going into the final minute of a grueling local derby. These players really have contributed hugely in terms of their effort and commitment and running power. It's a tribute to their state of fitness, the way they've continued right to the end. Here's Derek Ferguson and McKinley. Foster setting off in chase, carefully watched by Murdo McLeod. Back it goes to Tosh McKinley. Comfortable catch for Gorham. Here's Paul Kane. Tortolano goes to the left. Kane retaining possession, playing that through for Houchin. Couldn't gather the ball on the run. Hadn't quite the necessary sharpness to get away from Alan McLaren. So there's John Robertson going forward, stopped by Murdo McLeod. And once again a flag up on the far side, this time for offside against Paul Wright. So all of the Hibs supporters making for home early. And they all go home with lots of food for thought, because they certainly cannot fault their team for their effort and energy and organisation at that. And they must wonder when fortune will smile on them.
But it's a true saying in football, Jock, that when you are down there at the bottom of the division, any division, that nothing does go for you. It's quite amazing how often that happens, and that's what Hibs are finding at the moment. And it's a time when you have to just battle through it and hope for the one little spark that might just turn the season all round for them.
The layoff there from Wright. There's John Robertson chesting that down for Brian Hamilton. Here's Callum Milne. Now Kane. We've had a minute of stoppage time played. There certainly have been some injuries, notably to Scott Crabb in the incident in which Pat McGinley was ordered off, so there may still be a little bit of time to go before the end. It's thumped away by Sanderson, but I don't think either side would complain now if referee Jimmy Duncan brought the match to an end. They won't be insistent, I don't think, that he plays out every last second. There's Callum Milne. Up goes Alan McLaren to win that from Houchin, and referee Jim Duncan blows the final whistle to bring to an end an excellent Edinburgh derby. A match full of incident, full of good football. There goes Eric Miller to the dressing room. He's full of concern and worries, I've no doubt. Although, if he reflects in the morning on the match, he will realise that Hibs played extremely well. And if the goals were edited out of the match, it may well be the case that this match should have ended all square. And certainly, if Hibs are the worst side in the Premier Division, as their league position suggests just now, it reflects the very healthy state of Scottish football.